So today we're going to just show you how to actually upload your video. Now, for one, I record my video outside of the software. The software that we're going to use today to just show you guys how to do that is Spotify for podcasters, and then upload it in to your host. You'll see some dealings with Riverside as well. The reason why I record mine outside of the actual um, software that we're using is I like to do some extra editing outside of the app. And I like to have mine on my phone so that I can do other things with it. But there's nothing wrong with the recording straight to the app. So let's go to it. I'll share my screen so you guys can jump in and see this. So right now we see this is where you would be at once you go ahead and open Spotify for podcasters. You'll see now that you can create with Riverside. This is when you go ahead and actually create the episode inside of there. And then this is where you select the file where if this is the episode you've already recorded and you have it on your computer or your phone, I would recommend having it on your computer. So let's just look at this one right here, right? If I was going to create with Riverside, goes right here, we're opening Riverside, gives you all of this stuff. Let's go. Now, I can go ahead and record an episode. If I'm going to do it through Riverside this way, I'm going to do record video and audio. If I'm going to make this a video podcast, if it's just audio, I would select just audio. All right, let's just see how it looks. You see right here, this would be me. This is my name. It's pretty cool. Once I'm ready, I can hit record and it'll give me a countdown. If I was doing this podcast with a guest, I would go ahead and I would copy this link and I would send it to my guests, or I would invite them by email. Cool thing with this is that they don't need any special software. They don't even need to download Riverside at all. They can just go ahead, get the link, and get into the show with you. As you see here, Spotify for podcasters, there are now combined, which is a great partnership great partnership. So let's just go. I was going to edit my episode. I'm going to upload because now I have my episode that I want to actually upload in here. It's going to ask me to add audio or video. I click that. And then the video I made is a really quick one, video to try, so you guys can see it uploading. Upload. Now, as it's uploading, I want to be, I just want to be mindful that these things could have glitches every now and then. So if it doesn't upload the first time, I would just go back through the steps to upload it. But Riverside makes it pretty user friendly, and I believe they've done that on purpose because Spotify for podcasters makes it very user friendly on purpose. So what's happening now as it's processing? It's gonna upload. Once it uploads, I'm gonna have some options. Some of my options are going to be to add captions, make some basic editing, clean up some pauses and ums. And with this now, I can go ahead if I wanted to add an intro and an outro. The more you want to do, the a little bit of complexity can come in, but it's your podcast. You can play around with it. The great thing is, as you're playing around with it, you don't have to actually launch it right then. You can play around with it, get it right, and launch it. Now, if it's me, I'm going to say, since I want you to actually launch your podcast within 24 hours, I would say go ahead, do some of the basic editing that Riverside is going to allow you to see, which we'll see in a couple of minutes, which Riverside would allow you to do, and go ahead and launch it because you can get better as the time progresses. Now, I mentioned that I usually record mine with my phone or my camera and then I upload it. And the reason for that is sometimes I want different editing options, right? Sometimes I want to use what's called CapCut. Sometimes I will use what's called Final Cut Pro, which the complexity of Final Cut Pro, the learning curve is, I'm not going to lie to you, the learning curve is a little steep, and I had a lot of frustration with it. So we see now this is uploaded. I'm going to go to start editing. And now I have some cool things I can look at, right? From over here, I got my brand, tracks, layout. Let's just see what it looks like. So my brand, if I wanted to put my logo, this is my logo. You can upload yours. Then I can go ahead and drag it anywhere. Now, let's say I wanted to do some captions. I can choose how my captions look. You'll see when I press play. This is a video that we're recording. Super cool, right? Images. If I wanted to go ahead and drop some images, images will come in as an overlay. Of course, you can play around with that. That's not what we want to get into, but it's there for you if you want it. Over here, you could add your own text. Over here, tracks right here. If you were going to split it and split up the actual episode. Layout is if you were going to change how it looked. I honestly leave it as is on purpose. Then some cool little tricks over here. We see something called magic tools. Let's go ahead and click it. Magic tools, right? You'll see this smooth speech, remove filler words and unwanted sounds. You can apply magic audio to enhance the audio. Set pace, removes pauses and improve the conversation flow. I don't use that because I want sometimes the pauses to be there because it's a real conversation that I'm having. And then if I wanted to do some basic editing where, let's say I had a part in this video where I was here and something drastically happened that stopped me, I would click that split button and I would drag the cursor over here where that drastic part ended. And then I would just hit delete and it takes that out for you. So that's really, really, really good. And other than that, that's a lot of what Riverside does. You can get into later with making them small clips, but that's not what we're going to do today. You export, right? And if you have a paid for version, you can remove the watermark. You can normalize audio levels. I like that. You can remove background noise. I like that because sometimes you may have people behind you. You can do the same thing with the audio as well. Let's just say I was going to export it. You'll see it loading right here. And that's it for this part. I'm not going to have you guys sit there and watch the loading. So that's it for this part. We'll get into the next video. Let's do it.